Flown in from our nursery. Amen.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning, Susan.
We have 6 beautiful children in our nursery who are doing so well, there's not a tear being shed. But it is awesome. God is good. We've been speaking about, sharing about stewardship over the past month. And it has been a while since we've actually had an annual stewardship emphasis. So we'll call this the first annual in a while. We're going to be entering our first annual stewardship emphasis here at Asbury. And I'd like to share from 1 Peter 4:10, which is, like good stewards of the manifold grace of God, serve one another with whatever gift each of you has received. So today and over the next few weeks, we will be considering our theme, which is faithful stewards of God's infinite grace. And today, let's think for a few moments of what it really means to be a faithful steward. So simply stated, a steward is one who is responsible to transact the business of another. It's not an owner. Steward's not an owner, but a representative of the owner. A steward is one who manages that which belongs to someone else. So in the final analysis, all of us are managers and stewards for God. According to Psalm 24:1, the earth and everything in it belongs to God. Or as an evangelist of the past century noted, God is, in the highest possible sense, the proprietor of the universe. This means that everything belongs to God. We've been talking about that over the last month, that God who owns it all. It's not ours. He's entrusted us to manage the resources that he has entrusted to us, that he has given to us. So while God could have chosen Fidelity or AXA or another investment firm, he's chosen us, you and me, to be managers and stewards of what is rightfully God's. So if we see ourselves in the role of managers and stewards, we will treat our time, our talents, and our treasures differently as if these things really belong to us. We will see them as gifts of God's grace, blessings, given to us to be handled with great care and faith through spiritual wisdom. We will view all that we have as resources loaned to us by the King of Kings for a very short time. And as us managers and stewards of what really belongs to God, we will realize that someday we will all give an account of how we managed what God has given us. So what is very interesting is that God encourages us to be generous with our resources. You know, we've talked more about money in the Bible than any other subject. And as Chuck Swindoll points out, Jesus spoke of how much more blessed it is to give than to receive. And I know we can all think of that and share times in our hearts of how much blessing it is to give rather than to receive. And bumper crops are God's specialties. This has happened to me so many times where I didn't have enough money to pay something that I had to just 6 months ago. I wasn't sure how I was going to pay the mortgage over the summer. It was more recent than that. And the mortgage company sent me a check. I had it over on my taxes, my escrow. Just enough to pay my mortgage. God is good. God is good. So to give generously means that we will march to a different drummer than those who do not know the Lord and who are unconvinced that God knows it all. We will press on in the ministry to which God has called us here with the fresh realization that God is faithful. By God's infinite grace, we'll be enabled to do what God has asked us to do with his resources. So you may have heard this story before. The morning on a beach, and a couple's watching a little boy, and there's tons of starfish on the beach, and he's throwing each in. The couple asks them, why are you doing this? You're never going to be able to get all this starfish back in the water. There are just too many of them. And the boy replied, that's true, but as he bent up to pick another one out and throw it back in, I'm sure it made a difference to this one. So one person alone cannot possibly do everything. And maybe even working together, we cannot do all the needs that need to be done here at Asbury United Methodist Church. But we can touch a few people for Jesus' sake. We can minister to Christ In God's name, we can do ministry here. We can impart the good news of the gospel by using our time and our talents and our treasure for God's glory. As you consider what God would have you do as a faithful steward to impact the lives of others, be encouraged by this closing word from Chuck Swindoll. Count on the Lord to honor and multiply even your smallest efforts. Last time I checked, God was still rewarding faithfulness. Thank you, and God bless you.